Don't know what I did there, but that was hard work. Wow. Wow. Look, nothing so straightforward, is it? I made a nice, lovely, glamorous, opening screen, and then everything goes tits up after that. But there you go. So look, I'm doing this now, and this is one of the benefits I have of being single, right? Believe it or not. I would not be able to do this sort of stuff, no doubt, if I was in a relationship. Hopefully you can all hear me okay, and with that. But what I'm going to be talking about now is about how do we make change. And I expect lots of people will be sleeping, and I don't expect people to be watching this. Really, I don't really care if they do or they don't, but hopefully people will watch it tomorrow, because I think for me it goes back to a lot of very basic stuff, and more basic than anyone could begin to imagine. It starts with, ultimately, like with everything, it starts with us. I think what's got me thinking or feeling this way is I keep myself to myself pretty much. Everyone must be like, oh no you don't, you do lives, you've got an opinion, blah blah blah. I do have an opinion, and I'm always willing to allow other people's opinions as well, funny enough. So, and I don't always agree. I do not always agree with everybody else's opinions as well. That's one thing for sure. Yeah, because we can't always agree with things in life, and that's something we can't always do. Yeah, and people might criticise me as well. You clearly don't know me. People might begin to criticise me, or they do criticise me for going live. I go live sometimes without a drink, and trust me, what you see of me today in today's world is so much more mild than you can begin to imagine from a previous older me, well, younger me, from my olden days gone by. And ultimately, I don't really care what anyone's opinion of me really is. Obviously, I do care. I want to help people, and I can't really help people if people don't like me. So I have to be likable, I get that. But I know I've got a clear conscience on things that I do and things that I don't do. I know that I make mistakes, as we all do. We're all human beings here. Ultimately, that's the end of the day. That's what we are. Human beings that make mistakes. Now, in this world that we live in, right, where there's like a blame culture for everything, like literally everything. Everyone's always got to blame someone for something. And 9 times out of 10, if we look at ourselves, everything that happens to us, in my view, is a repercussion of something that we've done, said, thought, felt. That can be good things. That can be good things. But that can be bad things as well. Everything. And that's why I've come to the world of where I'm at in my spiritual self, which is the good things that happen, I appreciate them. Yeah, the good things happen, I appreciate them, and that's good. And I value the good times, and I appreciate the good times. But the bad times, I value even more, because I'm learning something from it ultimately. That's the first thing. And secondly, if you think about it, everything is often for the back of something. An incident, or an incident, something you said, part of your life. It's a repercussion of something. And that's something that people seem to forget, especially when we're in this world that we're in now. The people that I'm rubbing shoulders with, they're all, we need support, they need support. Yeah, and with family law, there isn't much out there you can get in terms of support. If you are not very well off, you can't afford a solicitor, depending on what side of the fence you sit on and what you dealing with. You can't really turn to social services. You can't turn to CAFCAS, can't turn to the police in some instances. So you're limited to where you can really go. In terms of qualified professionals, people with psychologists, people who have spent years and years and years at school and college and whatnot, there are thousands of people who tell you, I can tell you now, one psychological assessment is about £7,000 for a decent psychiatrist. So people don't have that sort of money, do they? So they're going for alternative options. And with the internet being the way it is and being so accessible to so many, people are turning to wherever they can do to get this help and support. I think that's where we forget. This is where it goes back to the blame. And I get in some instances where it's easy to blame the person that's trying to help you the easiest, because that's the first point of call. They're trying to help you. But who else is helping you? Who else is helping you without actually trying to get something for themselves? Don't get me wrong, you've got a service, you've got to pay for a service. You've got to pay for a service, and that's no-brainer. But there's charities out there that are trying to do stuff for free. And there's a certain amount of stuff that I do that is free as well. But what's so painful when you're doing that is if things don't go the way that you might have planned or maybe you might have wanted, because one thing I've always said to everyone I work with and everyone I work for will get the same thing. They'll expect the worst and hope for the best, always. It's family law, so you can't be expecting it to be the same. You can't be saying, right, you've had this incident here that's going on here, it's going to be that outcome, because it doesn't work that way. Because ultimately the outcome is going to be dependent on your CAFCAS officer, it's going to depend on your judge, it's going to be dependent on a lot of different factors throughout the course of your whole case. Yeah. And no one has got the ability to predict wholeheartedly 100% what's going to be done, what's going to be said, and which way it's going to go. You can put your money on it, and you can sort of say, like, based on this and this and this, you would expect X, Y, and Z to happen in the majority of cases. But you've always got these little cases where the odd things happen that you don't expect. And I think that happens a lot. Don't know odd things happen, that happens a lot. It happens a hell of a lot. What you can begin to imagine. And when you've got so many things going wrong, I think that's where reform starts, isn't it? Yes, what do you need when you need reform? You need failure of existing laws. Now, if you do a little bit of research, not all of you will want to, but I don't have time to do it, so I'll do a little quick little bit of stuff and speak to Victoria and whatnot. And knowledge is abundant. And this goes back to the 1996 Act, I think, or 2001 Act as well. But they keep making mistakes. They tried to modernise everything from 1973, I think it was, and they tried to do that to make it easier, to make it not so easy to manipulate or fuck up, so they say. But they've got it even worse, they've got it wrong. And that's clear with the amount of people that are complaining about the family law, whether it be public law or private law. The amount of people that are getting wrong done and outcomes that aren't right. I've seen a lot of videos over the last couple of days where people are calling people out and whatnot. I just think, you know, I almost fell into that trap again of fucking putting my 5 pennies worth in. But then I know that there's no point in talking to certain people because they're just going to be they're opinionated, self-centered, by just head up your ass type outcome. You can't talk to these people because they're probably more narcissistic than my ex-wife. That's quite narcissistic. Just realised you've got a camera in there, so I can, yeah. Hopefully you can hear me properly. And that's the problem. And that's where the problem has to be, where the root of the problem is. Because while collectively, as a whole of everyone, regardless of your opinion of me or her or this person or that person, regardless of anything, you're not going to get reform because there's too many egos and there's too many people trying to get one up on other people. And there's too many people trying to push the blame on someone else. There's too many people doing this and too many people doing that. And it's like, it's literally, it's from being living in that world since 2013 and seeing people do it all the time. From back with Fathers of Justice back then, to it happening to me as I was progressing, to it continually happening to me as I have an opinion or whatever, go do lives and whatever it might be. People are going to have an opinion. You know, to me, it doesn't really matter what your opinion is. If you can be agreeing with me, you can say you like me, you can say you're my friend, you can say whatever you like. But that might change tomorrow, and then you slagging me off. And I've been in enough situations to know that people are not always as mature as they might say they are or could be when they're dealing with something they disagree with or someone they disagree with about something so emotive. And I think until people start taking responsibility for their own actions, you're not going to get reform. You've got the old school lot, Matt O'Connor, Teague, Scouse, all people that have spoken to me previously, got on with me relatively well, not recently, but in the past. And then they've had a change of opinion of me, or I've had a change of opinion. I've not agreed with something they've said, or a viewpoint that they've got. And then they've started being like, well, don't like him, distance yourself, because I don't agree with him. That's narcissistic. Whether you like it or not, it is. And that's the very behaviour that we're dealing with the ex-wives that we're saying that we're so against. But the majority of these people are so narcissistic themselves, they can't see that. You try to explain that to them and they can't see it. So there's that's the old school. And then you've got this whole new generation of stuff now going on the internet, like Facebook groups and whatnot, and you've got some really, really clever people in these groups. Some people who have experienced a lot of stuff. Some people who are much more clever than what they give themselves credit for. They don't even realise what they've learned and how they can put that into practice. Because they're still hurting, going through it, I suppose. But it's still it comes back to too many egos. Too many people saying, my way is the right way. That person's wrong. Trying to pull out and build bully and alienate and all the things that we say that we shouldn't be doing or we shouldn't do to our kids, and we shouldn't, and it's not right when it gets done to us as adults, as dads, as mums, when you're alienated from your child. Yeah, there's professionals out here, or people who claim to be professionals, and say I'm not, professional because I might have a drink and go live doing a drink, having a drink, or whatever, on a phone. I'm human. I don't give a fuck. I'm human. And let's be honest, anyone who knows me from when I was young would know that me getting drunk one night a month isn't really the end of the world. It's quite funny. Because I was a nice drunk this time. I did almost actually burn the place down again. These things happen. Ultimately, though, that's what I believe. Narcissists will never let narcissists do. You need to be humble. You need to be able to say, and let's be honest, we've all got narcissistic behaviours. We've all got narcissistic traits. Yeah, every single person. It's about how we manage it, how we contain it, how we use it. I think that's and there's narcissistic. There's different levels of spectrum. There's a spectrum of it. As with everything in life, a spectrum. I think when you've, I don't know. Let's put it like this: we wouldn't be if I didn't have such I'm going to use myself as an example, but if I didn't have a crazy relationship with my ex-wife, and if I didn't do certain things in our relationship, and if she didn't do certain things in our relationship, then I wouldn't be in this world now that I'm in terms of the alienation and the fact that she feels is justified. So that's the consequence of the actions that I had to deal with, and the decisions of being in a relationship, of getting married, of having a child. That's the consequence of that. I can't blame anyone for that other than me. If I had lost my first case the way I believe I could have and should have, if I continued to listen to Matt O'Connor and Fathers for Justice back in 2013-14, then I think, what would I do if I lost everything then? Would I blame them? Would it be their fault? Would it be my fault for listening to them? I think for me it'd probably be my fault for listening to them because I was doing some silly stuff. But I chose and I made the decision not to listen to them and go my own way. I enjoy and I take pride in the fact that I went my own way and got the positive results I did and do because of it. But there's still too many people who, when things don't go the way after getting the advice and support and people taking time out of their day and everything. And I'm not just talking about one person, like Victoria. I'm not just talking about me. There's multiple people that I know that I've crossed shoulders with that have been, and that includes Matt O'Connor, Teague, Scouse, anyone who works in this environment where you're giving out advice and support for free and trying to help others out of the kindness of your heart. You're not always going to get the results that you want. And I've known every single person that I've just mentioned to be moaned about and slagged off in public and said they're the worst person since fucking sliced bread. Don't use this person, they fucking don't know what they're talking about. Calling them silly stuff, isn't even as far as calling them paedophiles and shit. It's all bullshit, ultimately. Because ultimately, you're in that situation yourself. To ultimately get in a situation where you have got social services involved and you're at the risk of losing your child, that's even pure corruption. And I don't believe that every single case there is in England and Wales is pure corruption. I believe corruption exists. I believe that some judges and some social workers and some CAPCAS officers, as with everything in the world, are going to be corrupt and are not going to be as good as others. That's what I believe. And if you're unfortunate enough to get a dodgy person who's not very good at their job, as you do if you work in if you work in anywhere else, you're going to get one fix, and then one side of the road might be brilliant, other one on the opposite side of the street might be rubbish. It's the same as if you're working in a thrift store or a car bank. One shop's going to be good, one shop's going to be rubbish. Depends who's managing it, depends who's leading it. But the fact that people think it's okay to try and pull down, alienate, hate on people because their cases don't go the way they want them to. My thoughts would be, you're in that situation in the first place. I didn't put you in that situation. The person helping you didn't put you in that situation. The person helping you is helping you because they want to help you, because they want to try and help. If you're in that situation, that's a consequence to a build-up of things that you've not done or have done in the first place. So while people want to blame, in some cases, they might want to blame me, in some cases, Victoria, in some cases, Connor, Scouts, Teague, whatever, people, whatever, because everyone, if they're really real with themselves, will know that they've all had a case where it's not gone to the way that they expected it to go. Which is why I'm very clear to all my clients: expect the worst, hope for the best. So to all those bullies and people who are upset, and I get it that you're upset because you've lost your kids, or you didn't have custody, or whatever hasn't gone to plan the way you wanted it to go to plan. You are in that situation in the first place. People are helping you. What else would you be doing if you weren't getting that help from those people? I can say there's a few people that probably about 6 months ago were saying that, oh, I'd helped you come out of your shell. I helped you be confident to go live. I helped you to be a better you. It doesn't just mean when things are going your way. That means even more so when things aren't going your way. So rather than pushing blame on people and causing conflict, I don't know, do what no one else does and take responsibility yourself and rewind the situation. Rewind it to the very beginning, long before you were speaking to the person helping you. Because to get reform, you have to have a failure of existing laws. We have a failure of existing laws. But we don't have a collective of a bunch of people from different groups, different parts of walks of life and society, cultures and background, acceptance of it, accepting of each other, in order to build one big unity of people, all with the same one collective goal. Not liking each other maybe, but respecting each other, to get the reform that everyone seems to be asking for. But no one actually wants to make any change within themselves to get. It seems really closed-minded. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking out loud again. take away from the fact that we know corruption does exist. And I've known cases where it just haven't made sense at all, and it stinks. These are the cases that we should be talking about, not the cases where if you look at it and you think really hard about it, you're in a situation because of a number of decisions that you've made that have mounted up to being where you are there now. I think I get, and most people that do what I do understand, that when you're angry and things don't go away, you're going to be frustrated, you're going to go through that change curve. But to continue doing it, and then to join forces with other people who really should know better, in my opinion, who are easily led, and from people who promise the world, no doubt. I mean, I don't mind calling them out. I mean, there's a few of them. I'm not going to do it. But they know who they are, and it's just pointless. Pointless. There's these people who are influencing the people that are broken and are damaged now, even more so because they're losing their kids, or have recently lost their kids, and they're preying on that. They're preying on that in the same way Fathers for Justice do. And they'll manipulate you to say, build your anger, build your fury. Yeah, be angry. Yeah, you might have got, some advice may not be, it didn't work the way you wanted it to work. But then again, it's a whole build-up of shit. It's not just getting the advice, it's about how you play it. I bet you, if you look at it, and if I was a fly on the wall, I could pull apart literally 20 things for each and every single person, including me if I'm in that situation, that I could do differently to potentially get a different result or outcome, or to get someone to give a different opinion of you. But if you're willing to say, oh, I'm this and I'm nice and all this and whatever, when things are going good, and you're trying to give a good impression of yourself to the professionals, you're being all positive, then when things don't go to plan, the real you comes back out again. You where you don't, where you're self-destructive. And that means that you've never changed in the first place. That means you've not accepted that you've had even flaws in yourself in the first place. Because again, if you go back to it, anyone who is anyone in that situation would have had to have a cycle of fuck-ups, pretty big fuck-ups, in order to get to where they are. And then to blame the people who were closest to you or trying to help you shows you can't take responsibility for yourself. That means you're probably never going to get any change within yourself, and you pretty much no point ever applying for court ever again, because if you can't accept that you have erred, whether you agree your error or not, you should agree and acknowledge that whether you agree or disagree with the system and how the system is set up, you are not working in the eyes of the system, and you can't change the system unless you have a group of people collective, and you can't have a group of people collective when there's people causing divide. That's pretty much it, really. So I'm going to keep it for 30 minutes. I've got to do some more work. So I couldn't do this if I hadn't listened. That's what I'm quite happy about. Got a few people in court tomorrow. Good luck to you all. I'll be with 2 of you, virtually, of course. To all those that are building hate and thriving on making your pain everyone else's your pain or someone else's pain, I say to you, try and take on that pain yourself. Because until you do, and you're not going to take responsibility for yourself. You're not taking responsibility for yourself. You can't take responsibility for a child. If you acknowledge that you're a human being and you make fuck-ups, why is it okay for you to make a fuck-up and not that person over there? No one's that righteous, and no one is above anyone else to say or even think that. Anyone who does, well, I don't want you in my life, and I wouldn't want to be around to anyone like that. So if I've been charged with that, then maybe unfriend me or don't follow me anymore, or whatever it might be. Because it's difficult for me to manage or control or see if someone think I've got an open profile for business reasons. So I accept the majority of people. I'll just accept after doing a few little checks. I accept people, but I know there's a group of people on my friends list, following list, whatever, come to my page and in my groups, just to see what's what, and who can fuck up here and who can fuck over there. I say shame on you. And all the people causing conflict and hate and divide. Do you know what, there's a massive thing about being yourself at the moment and just being you and being proud to be you. And that's who I am. My warts and all is me. What gives you the right to be you and live your life freely, but not allow others to do the same? Bullying me or fucking coming at me or whatever, or Victoria or other people that I know. But I'll use myself and Victoria as an example because we're the people who, with faces. These are the faces that people don't like. Professionals, other people don't like when they see us doing a better job or influencing more positively and proactively than they are or could, because they do things in a different way. Humour, comedy, love. You can't have people preaching love if they're going around hating on people. If I'm coming out to you all saying love, love, love and give love, 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 I'm not claiming to be perfect, and I have had moments where I've had outbursts. But that's after a lot of people. That's after one person pushing. I can safely say in the last 2 years there have not been any instances where I've gone on fucking proper, I've had a whinge and a moan, absolutely. But I've not gone on a massive hate thing. In fact, I don't think I ever have. Tried making bullying someone to make them feel that they're insignificant and small and not important. No one deserves to live like that. And I've got people friend requesting me, and I know their names, and I've seen their posts, and I'm like, why would you friend request me after you've literally been slagging people off that I'm working with, or in my mind really close to? So yeah, odd in itself. There you go. Hi Andy, Green, hi. So yeah, that's that. And that's what I've got to say. I'm going to do some more work now. Please stop hating on people and stop taking responsibility for yourself and for your own actions. Start appreciating the fact that you're fake and plastic, because anyone who can switch like that from being apparently nice, peaceful, loving, everyone's mate, to then being vile is false. And it's not on. And exactly, I'm with you, Andy. It's just not on. It's just not on. It's people are hurting enough already, and then you're building more hate. It doesn't sit comfortably. But then again, I accept it because people are angry and hurting because their kid's taken away and they want someone to blame. It's natural. It's natural. But then it's not natural to continue it again and again and go the way they've been going. And I know a wide variety of people, and I'm trying to tolerate and have a certain tolerance of acceptance that people are angry. But then some of the things is like different level. And those are the people that you look at and you think to yourself, you complain, look at your behaviour now, and you're complaining that your kids are getting taken off you, and you're blaming someone else. There must be something in your behaviour now that would trigger you from being from back whenever that's triggered something in some professional's opinion that's dug that person out now, not just then. I think you're going to get manipulated. These people are getting brainwashed now even further by other people who think that they are right in how they are influencing these people to go and do even more crazy stuff. And I know that because I was of that mindset and broken in the mind to let myself be led by Fathers for Justice and Matt O'Connor. So again, I can relate to that and I understand when things aren't going the way you want them to and you're alone. You may not have your parents with you, you may not have just your kids taken away from you. You need someone there and you want to feel part of something. I get it. But when these people you're feeling part of have got a different agenda and they're not out to try and make you feel better in yourself because you're not loving you, you're still hating and then building on your hate and then building on your anger. Again, think about it. Think, why are they doing this? Because if you want reform, you're not going to get it that way if you're building hate. I've gone on a bit too much. But yeah, hopefully people will see this in the morning when they wake up. Leave it everywhere. Be available on YouTube, LinkedIn, anywhere else anyone wants to watch it. Yeah, we've been broken by the system, but we build back and come back stronger. That's exactly the ethos. But then when you've got people who are trying to break people even further, they can't come back stronger all the time. Some of them are going to kill themselves. And that's what's painful. From an outsider, I mean, I get asked the same questions, why do I work so much? Surely you're going to work yourself out and you're going to tire yourself out. No, I'm not. Because it's my purpose. I'm not saying I'm Jesus or anything, but maybe I am. I don't know. You never know. I don't feel it. I don't feel the burnout. I don't feel that. I just don't feel it. Yeah, I've got bags under my eyes, and yeah, I get tired. And yeah, that means I do fall asleep sometimes when I shouldn't. But I would do all this, and I do it all because I just want to help people. And I think, yeah, we get lots of positive results, but we get results that are not positive. But they're managed accordingly, and they're managed in the right way because we know that the worst thing that could happen. For someone to even not expect the worst to happen, that's your own mindset. That's your own mind. Don't be trying to hate on other people because your situation didn't go the way it should have gone in your mind. Because in someone else's mind, the judge's mind, the professional's mind, something had gone long ages before. Their decisions are made up and their minds are made what's going on in a final hearing. Before that, you even set foot into that hearing, came to courtroom. When you've got a 2-day hearing, or you've got a 3-day hearing, when you've got a day hearing, when you've got a 3-hour hearing, decisions are made before you're even in the hearing. Outcasts have written their recommendations before then. Your job is to try and minimise I think you've got a point. It's the biggest problem when you're trying to help people, mate. If someone's jealous that you're doing it like they want to be the best or something happens and it's a situation that goes wrong, and then people start to hate campaign. call of trying and help people. It's difficult. That's why you've got to have like Teflon skin. That's why you can't let people take you down and bring you down. That's why you've got to face it, and you've got to not shy away from it. I think that's my thing. You just got to keep going forward, because you accept people are hurting, and it's an emotional thing. It's what kids and money and family and money. It's emotional. Two emotive subjects. Someone says to you, "I'm not paying you this week," you're going to get angry. Someone says to you, "I'm taking your kids away," you're going to get angry. Someone says to you, "You can't have a packet of crisps," it's going to be fine. And that is the problem. But you've got to, the individuals who are going around doing that need to understand that it's the change, it's the anger they're feeling now. Don't let themselves get construed into snowballing into a whole load of more negative shit. Because sometimes when you burn your bridges, there's no way back. And the people who were there in the first instance generally be there in the last instance. The amount of people that have disappeared without even paying me, and they should have paid me, and then they've come back in months later and said, "I'm sorry," and I've still been there without even worrying about the fucking money side of it. Just let us get it sorted and blah blah blah, and worry about that later. And I always will be like that. I think the people I know will be like that too, because they're not doing it for selfish reasons. They're doing it for love, and because they're doing it because they want change. I think I only really, oh my god, for 2 years. I think I didn't really look. Yeah. And that's it, because when you're going through it, mate, when I was going through it, that's why I've got no more for myself. With my ex-wife, I have no feelings whatsoever, because it makes no odds, because I've come to acceptance with the law and my situation, and what's best for Lila is all I think about now. How is it going to impact Lila now? What's it going to look like in the future for Lila? And if it's only me thinking that way, and not Lindsay, then I'm cool with it. I'll still do whatever I need to do. If it means not speaking to Lindsay, if it means not speaking to Lila, if it means not knocking on the door, if it means whatever Lila wants me to do to make her life easier, that's what I'll do. Yeah, when Lila sends me a picture time with hugging a Build-A-Bear that I paid for, that she asked me for, that's enough for me to know that I'm doing the right thing. But not everyone thinks like that. And I'm not saying I'm better or bigger or anything else that you want. I just think that that's how we have to be. When you're talking about being angry, I was angry for a long time. For a long time. It's only 2 years I've been like this, I suppose. And I'm not perfect. I'm still not perfect. I'm still going to have things, but I know I've learned how to control my mind. I've learned how to manage myself, and I've had to do a lot of self-reflection, a lot of just fucking bollocks. Just I can't change it, so you've got to accept it. I suppose that's come from childhood. I couldn't choose my family, except to accept them, or 10 metres in front of them, or 10 metres behind them, or move the fuck away like I could as soon as I could have got the opportunity. Which is fair play to you, fair play, Andy, fair play. I was doing exactly the same thing, I know this for sure, because Lila said to me when I moved back to South London, and I was just, got the court order, the final court here, and the final one again, out of the way. And we were walking through town, and she said, "Daddy, you've changed." "No, I haven't." She said, "You've changed." And I was like, "How have I changed?" She said, "Oh, you're not angry anymore." So Lila could see, and she still can see even now today. And she says, from what the picture that she paints, she's been painted of me, from the exaggerations that she probably doesn't remember, but probably gets told, could be me, the relationship was toxic. I mean, no secret of that whatsoever with me and my ex-wife. not in a physical way, but in a verbal way. Let's just be clear on that, yeah. But Lila, that impacted Lila, and I just don't want that needs to stop. I don't want that to happen again. I don't want Lila feeling bad or shit. So you've got to accept stuff, and if you can't come to acceptance and learn to cope with what you've been given, and know that it's happening to you for a reason, then you're never going to move forward. Never. And that's definitely me saying goodbye now, because I'll be here talking fucking forever otherwise. And I've got to try and get some sleep. I'm not going to sleep, finish the statement off, and then have a nap. And Kit got here in at 11, and then another one at 2, or no, 12. No, 1, I don't know, I can't remember, it's written down somewhere in my calendar probably. But yeah, look, just keep loving it. Keep everyone being you, yeah? But be the best version of you, the nice version. We've all got nasty versions, we've all got angry versions, but just be the nice version of you. It's nicer to be nice, it's easier to be nice than it is to be nasty. And if you're being nasty, sorry, but then there's a reason. There's a reason why everything's happening, and you've got to think it's karma. Be positive, no matter when shit is looking bad and really, really shit. If you can find positives in that, and there's always positives in the shittiest of things, you'll change your life. You'll change how you look at everything. You need to find the positive. And sometimes that means going through weeks and months of awful torture, pain. But if you can still find the positive, once you find that positive and you find how to get there, and you get through each day at a time, then you're going to find some closure. And then you're going to find the best way of making the best out of a bad situation. And then, before you know it, hopefully, you're going to get more and more contact because you're not going to be angry. And you're going to be seeing things in a different light. I don't know, try it. Might be wrong, but it was only when I acknowledged that I was angry, and I didn't stop me from being angry with regards to justice, and when I was first going through everything, it didn't stop it. But I was aware of it, and because I was aware of it, I could manage it. It's different. Anyway, that's that. Just take care of each other, and take care of yourselves, and that's that. Peace and love. Alles love.